Welcome. Our Thursday night movement mantra meditation. I'm going to start lying down on our back. So just remove that little warning if it's popped up on your screen. It will be in your way otherwise. And we're going to come to lie down with the bolster under the knees. So you can roll that. If you don't have a bolster, you can always wrap a towel around a few pillows, bed pillows or cushions, that sort of thing. And then use your hands to just press into the palms. I've also placed a little blanket just behind me. You know, these are all added extras, but they all add to the benefit of relaxation and release. So let's just settle, just with some support under the backs of the knees, lift up and lengthen through the spine. Take a deep breath in, into the chest, and exhale. We're going to come down nice and slowly. So shift the pelvis towards the bolster. Come down to rest on the elbows, forearms, and wrists, and then lower yourself all the way down. So if you have placed a little bit of support under the back of the head, you can just adjust that slightly so that the neck is free. And same with any of your clothes, if you've got a hoodie on or anything that's ruching up around the back of the neck. And make any adjustments here that you need to feel really even across the body. So particularly across the pelvis, under the knees, so the thighs can start to release, and you can release the arms, palms facing up. Deep breath, all the way in, all the way out. So as we settle, there may be tiny little adjustments, perhaps through the feet, resting the heels down. So whatever height your little lift is under the backs of the knees, just ensure that the feet are touching the ground, yeah, the heels in particular. Unless this is uncomfortable, yeah, for any reason, if there's super tightness in the lower back, you may wish to just bend up the knees and let the lower back slowly start to settle with each breath. Now, the invitation here is that you can close the eyes and just slowly start to drop into your experience. In other words, withdrawing from all the other experiences. Okay, so this is fundamentally what we're looking towards in our practice, not just making shapes or connecting with the breath or all of these other ideas we might have about our yoga practice. But this retracting is coming back to your source, your center. And as you start to bring that stillness to the body, and with every breath, we start to move from a more physical level to a more subtle level. It doesn't happen straight away, of course. It's a slow process, if you will, and there's no rush, no destination. Just allow it to unfold. So just notice now where the tongue is in the mouth. If there is any tension around the jaw, just check that the tongue is resting in the lower jaw, away from the roof of the mouth. Back of the head is comfortable. Chin drops towards the chest. Fingers curling naturally in towards their palms. And we're just going to scan through the body just to see perhaps where there are any areas of holding or tension. So we'll start down at the toes. So without moving the toes, just feel into the toe joints. Just see if there's any gripping or grasping there. Across the tops of the feet, around the inner arches and the ankles. And if you do notice a little imbalance, perhaps in the position of the legs or the weight of each leg is more dominant, for example, make any adjustments that you need and then let the body settle again. Up through the shins, through the calf muscles, backs of the knees. Tops of the knees, around the kneecaps, and then the upper thighs. Backs of the thighs, the hamstrings, just releasing up into the buttocks, lower back. All across the pelvis and the belly. Take a deep breath into the belly. As you release, soften all the way from the lower ribs so the diaphragm has a chance to release. And let those breaths just naturally come and go. So without any interference or force, slowly start to feel that expansion up through the spine, across the ribs, side ribs into the outer edges of the armpit, arms releasing, shoulders relaxed. We're just going to rest our awareness, our gaze, if you will, towards that heart space. And that's our focus of our practice this evening, just to start to feel that connection and open up across the heart. And notice that the heart isn't just at the front. Drop a little deeper towards the earth and feel that resonance through the front to the back. Breathing deep. And keep softening and releasing across the collarbones and then down to the fingertips, right the way through the arms, the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists. I'm going to take a nice deep breath in, this time into the upper chest. So really feel that expansion, particularly into the side ribs as you breathe in. And release. Even sigh that breath all the way out. Really follow the exhale right to the very end. And then take another fulfilling breath all the way in. Feel completely satisfied with that breath and then release it. Jaw soft. Temples release. Just allow the face to soften, eyes to rest. Whole of the scalp can release across the forehead, the eyebrows, top of the nose. Well done. Now we're going to peel up the left leg just to bring that left leg to rest on the bolster, or I'll say bolster, but whatever your lift is made of, and then bring the right leg up. Place the feet so that they can rest. Let the soles of the feet really root down into that little lift. So there's a fairly deep bend in the knees there. I'm going to take the arms up now towards the ceiling. Interlace the fingers, turn the palms away so the palms face up towards the sky. Nice deep breaths. If it's really strong on the wrist to turn the palms out, you can leave them so that the palms face in towards you. Okay, nice deep breaths, whichever way you're comfortable holding, then go with that. Listen to your body. Soften those shoulders to the floor. So the temptation may be to lift those arms and sort of hold that posture. And this is a slightly different practice. We're softening to release, softening to release. Into the body, into the breath, into the mind. Well done. We're going to bend the elbows wide and just bring the hands now to the back of the head. So this is a summer holiday vibe. You can let the head just rest in the hands. Have a little wiggle side to side. So if you are resting on a blanket, they'll give you an extra bit of padding for the fingers. And breathing deep. This time we're opening deep into the armpits, out towards the pectoralis muscles and the serratus anterior muscles around the side ribs. This can feel super spacious. Equally, if you find this difficult with the hands interlaced, release the hands and just have soft elbows, okay? So in other words, find what works for you. If it's too intense, it may well be, if you've got arthritis in the hands, for example, or any tightness around the finger joints, just allow the body to respond. Have a zero tolerance of suffering if possible. So, try not to let any suffering come in, particularly in your yoga practice. We're going to peel up one leg at a time. Just let the feet lift off the lift and then flex the feet. Nice deep breaths. So this will deepen that stretch in the groin area. Let the belly soften, let everything soften. And again, you can continue with the eyes closed. This just draws you inward. This is the direction. To slowly start to withdraw ourselves from the outer world, the moving world. Point the toes down towards the floor, so we're stretching in towards the tops of the feet. Keep breathing nice and deep. Well done. We're going to plant the left leg and then extend that left leg all the way over the little bolster. Release the hands, extend the arms all the way up above the head. So just check you've got space to do that. So keep deepening into that right leg. We're going to bring the hands forward, up and over the head if that's comfortable for you, or you take them wide out to the side and hug that knee in towards the chest. Interlacing the fingers. Now, if it's difficult to take a hold of that front knee, that front shin, you take the back of the thigh, okay? Still interlacing those hands. Whichever version you're doing, let the leg come out slightly to the side to make a little bit of space around that right side of the body. Keep breathing and exploring that little bit of movement around the outer edge of the hip. So if you point the toes, you'll notice there's a slightly different stretch. You can also flex the foot and that will bring a slightly different sensation deep into that hip joint. Just notice that for yourself. One is slightly stronger than the other. And then come back to center. And just hugging that leg all the way in. And relax that foot. Deep breaths. When you're ready, release the fingers, release that foot. You can plant the right foot back on your little lift. Don't worry if it's a different height to mine. We're going to peel up the left leg, interlace the fingers, and then extend that right leg all the way out. So we sometimes do this flat to the floor. And, you know, this time it's absolutely fine. If you want to have your leg raised slightly, that's fine. Or the heel can land. You can walk that bolster slightly underneath so that the leg can relax. Heel can rest. Or you can continue to stretch through the toes and the tops of the feet by pointing and flexing. There's always an invitation in our practice to go from sort of active to passive or passive to active. Choose what's right for you. Hug that knee deeply in towards the chest and then out towards the side. Breathing as you go. Remember, you can always take the back of that thigh as we get deep into those hip flexors, into the inner groin. And slowly start to release, holding in the hips. Notice if the breath is being held. It's often associated with a little thought that's moved through the mind. This is natural, just notice it. Excellent, well done. Come all the way back to center. Plant that foot. Reach up so both feet can rest. Nice deep breath. Have a little movement through the hips and the pelvis. Check that the lower back is happy. And then slowly arms come all the way up towards the ceiling. Look between the hands, and then we're going to bring the hands wide out to the sides, almost touching, and then bring them back towards each other. Breathe in. Fingertips can touch. Exhale wide. Arms release out to the sides. Breathing deep. All the way into center. Well done. And this time we're going to take the arms a little wider apart and bring the right arm on the top of the left, and then bringing the elbows close towards the chest. We're going to wrap the hands around the tops of the shoulders, bringing those elbows in towards the chest. Deep breaths, just resting there. Slowly release. Take the arms all the way up. Open the arms wide as if receiving a really lovely gift. And then bringing that left arm on top. Big exhalation. So If the elbows are still lifting up, just bring them a little closer in towards the chest. Hands wrap around the tops of the shoulders. And you'll be able to breathe a little deeper in towards the back of the body, into that heart space, back of the heart space, in between the ribs. And release nice and slowly. Take your time. All the way out to the side with the arms, leaving the palms facing up. I'm going to turn the head to the right. Excellent, well done. We're going to gently press the little lift away. And let the feet rest towards the floor. If your blocks or your pillows are quite flat, you can leave them on there, keeping the feet around hip width apart. Just breathe into the belly and just settle there. Good job. Nice deep breath in. Head back to center. And then over to the other side. Releasing any tightness in the neck and the jaw. Well done. Rolling back to center with the head. It's a nice little massage through the back of the head. I'm going to lower the arms, walk the heels close in towards the buttocks, keeping the feet around hip width apart, toes planted, whole of the sole of the foot on each side, nice and rooted. Have a feel through the feet just to check in. Same with the palms, fingers pointing down towards the feet. We're going to press into the floor to let the pelvis just roll up nice and slowly, dropping the chin towards the chest, back of the neck is long. Breathe into the belly and exhale, roll down the spine. Really land when you land, So let the pelvis soften, belly soften, breath flow. Soft around the finger joints, slowly taking an extra deep breath in. Press into the floor as you roll up through the body. Exhaling, chin to chest. Really just tuning into what's happening here. So what's happening around the thighs, the knees. Notice if the feet are reluctant to press down. See if there's any sort of glute activation that you can bring in to support the pelvis. Same with a little tone around the belly and the pelvic floor. We're going to exhale, release nice and slowly. Really let everything soften. There's a temptation once we start moving to just go with that. And then we get into, some habitual patterning. Perhaps we want to hold it for longer or, really hold on. But we can do this with a sense of softness and freshness. Think of it being a sort of spontaneous, creative process rather than just creating a shape. Press into the feet, lift the pelvis, chin to chest. Lift the arms, let them float up. Keep nice and central. If you come to a point of resistance where the arms are no longer lifting, you can either bring them all the way up and over your head, let them land, the hands that is, or you can bring them back down, palms down. Go with what feels right for you, using this support that you have through the pelvis, the legs, the feet. Lower down through the pelvis, nice and slowly. You can keep the arms up and over the head as you lower down. This will be a slightly stronger stretch. Then bend the elbows. Breathing deep into the upper chest and relax. Let the elbows come out wider to the sides. If your arms did come down, bring them up and over now. Bring them up and over the head. Elbows nice and wide. We're going to let the knees just flop over to the right side. whatever shape your body makes, okay? So if the knees come all the way over, that's great. If the top leg is unwilling to sort of drop or unable because of tightness in the hip, that's also fine. You can let that top leg slide along the floor. You can even use your bolster under your top leg, yeah, or your pillow or your block, whatever you need is a little bit of support. We're going to turn the head away from the legs, okay? So the head turns to the left, legs are dropped to the right. Deep breaths. A bend in the elbows, continue to sort of almost like a wringing out, open across the chest and the heart space. Deep breath. A real sense of just surrendering any holding of the body. So with this holding is this sense of being somebody, this personality to uphold, this person that you are being, all of that stuff. This is heavy. And we can release all of that, certainly in our practice. When you're ready, bring the head back to center. Knees come back to center. So roll slowly across the pelvis. Realign, just take a few breaths here. So you may want to sort of walk each arm, lifting each shoulder, replanting. Keep the head down for stability. Lovely. And then when you feel that you're sort of realigned in a comfortable way, you're going to drop the arms a little lower down, turning the head this time. The head is going to the right side, and we're going to drop the legs over to the left. Okay, so again, it's the opposite side to last time. So a real big stretch. You may find that this side tells a slightly different story, yeah, through the body, through the pelvis. So breathe into whatever you find, whatever is there. If it's resistance, just meet that resistance. Breathe into it. And when we're not going for a shape, there's no agenda as such. There's just a release, a willingness to explore. Well done. Head to center, legs to center. Let's release the arms just slowly along the floor so those shoulder blades get a chance to really scoot under, picking up the legs now. We're going to hug the knees in towards the chest. So you can rock forward and back here. Nice deep breaths. Equally, you can take that movement to side. So just a gentle rocking over the back of the pelvis. Hover if you need to, wherever you feel that little stretch as you massage around the lower back, the sacrum area, the lumbar area. Slowly moving. Lovely, nice deep breath. Notice what the toes are doing, the jaw. And then settle when you're ready. We're going to plant the feet, hands onto the thighs. So fingers pointing up towards the kneecaps, little tone in the belly. We're going to take a breath in, and this time lifting the head chin to chest. Just let the hands slide down towards the knees, and then slide down the thighs and relax. Hands to the belly. Let everything settle. We'll do 2 more of those. So hands on the thighs, deep breath in. Exhale, chin to chest. So picking up around the belly, a little bit of support around the belly. Don't have to come high off the floor. Slide back down with that head. Landing, shoulders releasing. You can rest the hands here on the belly, around the diaphragm, so you can really start to feel that softness. Well done. Let's take a deep breath in. Chin to chest. Hands along the thighs towards the knees. Little tone in the belly and then release. Good job. Elbows wide, fingers soft. When you're ready, we're going to roll over onto our sides. Use your hand for support. Press all the way up. Come up nice and slowly. Pick up the bolster if you've got your pillows rolled up with a towel or whatever you've got in a little blanket. Take that between the thighs. Just check it's a good height. You can always build this up slightly. So what we're looking for is knees slightly apart. Let the toes touch, but avoid them crossing. We're going to lower down across the chest, resting first on the elbows, forearms and wrists. Slowly start to settle. Now, if you feel that the buttocks are quite high off the heels, that's okay. Just breathe and release. Okay, you've got the bolster for support. You can also bridge that gap with an extra pillow, okay, or folded blanket. And then slowly start to soften into your bolster, into your little lift here, whatever that's made of. Turning the head and relax. So really surrender the weight of the body, the chest. All of the tension in the neck, around the eyes, the temples. If your little lift is quite low and you need to build it up with an extra pillow under the head, then do so. If there's tightness around the knees, you just pop yourself back up, take the knees a little wider, take some more support under the buttocks. Find a way to find the spaciousness in the posture. Something you can breathe and release into. When you're ready, turning the head to the other side. Taking a deep breath in. Bringing the head back to center, extending the arms, looking between the hands, really pressing those palms all the way down to the floor, stretching up through both arms evenly into the back ribs. Breathing deep. It's quite deep here into the hip joints. Nice deep breath in and draw the hands closer towards you. Look forward and lengthen. Let the eyes really reach forward. Jaw can release. Shoulders can release. So the invitation here is that you can actually let the eyes really reach up and let the jaw drop, okay? So it's almost creating an R shape. Just feel how that is to release not just the jaw, but the throat, the tongue, all the way down through the thyroid. It may arise as a breath, it may arise as a sound. Continue to breathe into the middle back. And release nice and slowly. We're going to bring the chin to the chest. And just let the head really release all the thoughts, all the activity in the brain. Just soften, particularly around the eyes. Weight of the head releases through the neck. And slowly bringing the head forward. Well done. We're going to travel forward over our bolster. So we can pop that so that we can sit up. And stay all the way up in this position. Yeah, take any extra support here under the bolster, under the buttocks on the bolster. If you need a little bit more of a lift, you could add another block or a folded blanket. Chest is open, finding the way that works for you, okay? So if you find kneeling really difficult and you wish to release the legs, you're welcome to turn this into more of a squat, okay? You can take the legs out to the sides and be up in more of a malasana shape. Yeah, or you can reach all the way up through the seat. Lifting up through the seat will give you a little bit more lightness through the lower back. Either way, we're going to come into a little twist, all right? So I'll stay this way for now and then I'll turn for the next side. So gather up from the pelvic floor, really start to feel that lift up through the center, through the chest, all the way up through the sushumna. This is the energetic center. Breathing deep and releasing with the same intensity, as it were, with that same release, that full sense of surrender with every breath. I'm going to drop the chin to the chest. Keep the lifting up through the spine, shoulders releasing. And then slowly bringing the left ear towards the left shoulder, nice and gentle. And then chin to chest, over to the right side. Once more through the center, over to the left. Breathing as you go through the center to the right. Excellent. Keep lifting up through the pelvic floor as you come all the way back to center. Head lifts. Maintain that same lift up through the spine. Let the hands lift up. Deep breath in. And then exhale, turn towards me. Good job. Let the hand rest either on the foot. You could take a hold of the heel. You can have a hand on the front block or a block if you've got one on the front of the bolster. I'm going to demo what I mean by a block. So you can have that there. Something that's movable will give you a little bit more scope, okay? So you've always got your foot. And I prefer to go to the foot because there's an energetic seal that happens. There's that feeling of touch and connection with the whole of the sort of the sensory circuit of the fingers, the sole of the foot and the fingertips all gelling, just dropping into that sensation. Well done. Let's release nice and slowly. Back to center. Let the hands rest on the thighs. Real expressive breath that you can hear, something that you can really feel that there is a softening and melting through the spine, perhaps, or the upper back, the shoulders, the shoulder blades. And when you're ready, we'll breathe in, lift the hands, sort of a zombie style, and then turn to the other side. So again, feel into that lovely stretch. If you really want that openness across the shoulder, it may be beneficial to go to a block, in which case you can just move your little block to the other side. Or you may like to explore that sensation of the hand and the foot meeting. The head can be placed in a way that you can breathe into. And again, depending whether your practice today is about a sort of stretch or release or a softness, this is the invitation with our yoga practice. It can be what it needs to be. Well done. Let's release all the way back to center. Just resting there. I'm just going to turn the other way. You can stay as you are. I'm going to take the hands this time forward Interlacing the fingers, turning those palms all the way out, up towards the chest. Nice deep breath in. And then bringing the arms a little higher. So again, the invitation, if you find this too intense on the wrists or the palms or the fingers, you can have them the other way. Reaching up, tone in the belly. Notice a little bend in the elbows allows that softness to come up through the shoulders. Exhale wide with the arms. Beautiful. You can always bend into the elbows, releasing as the arms come down. Well done. This time, lean forward, sweep the arms forward, soft wrist, nice and loose around the wrist. Bend the elbows. Lovely. This time coming forward with the hands open and up. Let the hands come together, elbows up towards the sky, and finish with the palms together. So we come to that little prayer stretch, the elbows lifting up, fingers point down towards the ground, deep breath. And really welcome that openness around the heart space. Reaching up with the arms and then drawing the fingers down towards the heart space. Deep breath in. Exhale, open up through the fingers, and then we're going to interlace, change that into this beautiful mudra of unshakable trust, just resting across the heart space. Elbows can be wide and then release. Let the eyes just cast downwards, breathing into that space. I'm hoping you're fairly comfortable on your lift. If this is too intense to be seated for this long, you can always come forward, to release the hips and pelvis, knees, and sit in the upright position. Always an alternative. Well done. We're going to release the arms wide, but facing forwards and pointing down. Good job. We're going to tip over to the side. So just check you've got space. We'll put one palm down. Doesn't matter which side. Go to whichever side suits you. Nice stretch up and over. Just into, you feel that stretch across the pelvis. All the way up through the top of the pelvis, through the hip, through the sides. Beautiful, nice deep breath. Press firmly to come up and relax. Palms face forward. Deep breath in, exhale to the other side. You can look down at that hand as the top arm just comes up. Again, if it helps to bring a little bend in that elbow. Breathing. So we're lifting up from the pelvic floor. We're extending out through the side ribs, up through the hip, and extending that top arm. Well done. Nice deep breath. Head in a place that feels natural, that you can breathe into, not causing any agitation to the neck. The last thing we need, pain in the neck. Well done. Bend the supporting arm, press firmly to come all the way up. Sweep the arms all the way forward. Lift up and lengthen. Nice deep breath here. Exhale wide. Well done. Good job. Come forward. We're going to take ourselves off our little bolster. Pop that to one side and just come to hands and knees. Have a little wiggle of the tailbones. Now, I should say, if you've got your blanket, you may want to have that under your knees. It's a nice bit of support there. The knees, happy life. Have a wiggle through the tailbone here. So I've got my knees placed around hip width apart. Just have a little movement through the lower belly. Deep breaths as you press forward into the hands. We're going to slowly tuck under the toes. If you've got socks on, they may be a little slippy, but it should be okay. We're just going to come up slowly into a downward dog, but just a little bit of prep first through the soles of the feet, through the plantar fascia. So rocking forward and back, we're also warming up through the wrist. Now, if you find this super tiring on the wrist, lift and release the hands a number of times. Settle in the center, toes still tucked under, and start to explore picking up the tone around the belly. So it may be helpful just to sort of start to visualize this light tone, this lifting up from the deep down in the pelvic floor. And this will give us that little bit of support. Deep breath in. Gently lift the knees, let the head release between the arms and come into a downward facing dog. Now, you don't have to stay up in this position. You can pad through the hands, you can pad through the feet, you can come down to rest on hands and knees. You can come to rest down in balasana over the bolster. Anytime, nice deep breath. Press into the feet, lift the heels, and then extend the heels backwards. Look forward to the hands. And then come all the way down. Nice deep breath. Knees land, toes tuck under. Sweep the hands towards the body, hands on the hips, chest open and relax. Look up, come to a comfortable position with the neck, okay? If it's not comfortable to lift the head, keep the chin tucked under, but continue to lift and lengthen all the way up from the pubic bone to the chest. Exhale, fold forward. We're going to come all the way down. This time, taking the knees wide, we're going to walk the hands forward. We'll come down without the bolster for this variation, okay? Stretching through the fingertips, all the way down, resting that forehead. Deep breaths. And relax the arms. You can rest just on the forehead if that's comfortable. Massaging through the forehead, just rocking forwards and back, side to side, whatever feels good. And then settling in the center. When you're ready, just peeling yourself up, walking the hands a little closer towards each other. So we're back to around a parallel position with the elbows planted. Travel forward, bringing the legs a little closer together. Coming all the way up into tabletop. Look forward and lengthen. Exhale, shoulders release from the ears. Just notice that lovely length around the neck. We're going to bend the right elbow as we look back towards that right foot. Exhale. Come up nice and slowly, all the way up. Look forward and lengthen. Deep breath in. Other side, left elbow drops. Let the eyes gaze back towards that left heel. And release. Well done. We're going to step forward with the right foot, okay? So just bring that foot forward and just hold this little shape. Nice deep breaths. So if the blanket's not useful here, you can just peel that back. Just mind, be mindful. You take the support where you need it. And equally with bringing that foot forward, if it doesn't come back in one go, you can step that leg. You can walk the foot. Do whatever it takes. So just opening up into that hip, pausing there. Transferring the weight from one side of the body to the other. Supporting leg. Peel yourself up nice and slowly. You're distributing in a sort of diagonal way, through the front foot and the back supporting leg. Deep breath in. Well done. Let the arms release. Feel into that hip flexor. And then breathe the arms all the way forward and up. Exhale wide. Come all the way down with the hands. Plant the hands, so you're taking the weight through the hands now, And then we can do the same with that foot. You can step it nice and slowly. You can bring it all the way back and then bring that knee back to the padding. Walk it out. Have a little movement side to side. Look forward and lengthen. And then when you're ready, we're going to come to the other side. So again, be mindful of that. Any restriction, maybe in the hip, if you need to walk, sort of like a little step by step to bring that foot forward. The hands are still planted. Just check that the hip is happy. Deep breaths. Taking yourself up when you're ready, nice and slowly. Again, we're distributing evenly across the two sides of the body. Opening up through this hip flexor. Arms release. And if you feel a bit wobbly in this, just check that you're really rooting down through the big toe and the ball of that foot. Lift up through the chest. Breathe those arms forward and up. Exhale wide. Well done. Bringing your hands forward and taking that leg all the way back. Releasing. You come all the way back. Taking a deep breath in and just settling. Take any support here. It's just a few breaths. Releasing through those knees. Well done. Good job. And come to the side. Just let the legs soften out to the sides. Maybe give the knees a little rub. We're just going to finish with a little twist. So have the legs in what I call, you could start with them stacked and then let the top leg release. Like a bit of a zigzag. Nice deep breath. Take the top hand over and rest. Nice deep breath, stretching into the outer hip of the lower leg. So you'll see I'm still using my blanket for a little bit of softness there. Deep breaths. This should set us up nicely for our meditation. The hips will be open and relaxed. Belly soft. So in this twist position, we can feel that softness around the belly, releasing around the diaphragm. Well done. Just peel yourself up nice and slowly when you're ready. We're going to turn legs to the other side. So the easiest way to do that is just pop the feet to the other side, stack the legs again if that's comfortable, and then let that top leg be free so that the foot is resting outside edge, inside edge. And then we lift and bring that turn right the way through the whole of the spine. Nice deep breath. Look forward and look up. And just notice what you notice about the body, about the breath. See if the heart has remained open and relaxed. Well done. Come up nice and slowly. And we're going to move into our seated meditation now. So one of those postures that we practiced earlier, seated on the bolster, may be suitable for you. Cross-leg position. You can try lots of different variations, see what works for you. Equally, you can sit on a couple of blocks. To raise the seat, if you've got these small ones, you can stack them together. They make a little bit more of a plinth. Or you may want to remain on your bolster. Just find what works for you so that you can be comfortable. And again, this precision, this willingness to really tune into what is alignment through your body and balanced and upright. They will serve you well when it comes to the meditation, which means we can really just drop everything, drop the movements in the mind, the body is taken care of. which is an excellent way to begin a meditation. So just check your temperature, if you need an extra layer, if temperature's dropped. Have your tea if you remember tea. And we'll just settle ourselves. So it's often, a good invitation really in our practice at this time to just allow the body to come to stillness. You can close the eyes as always, just go with what feels comfortable to you. Dimming the lights, whatever you need. And we'll drop into our meditation just after the mantra, and I'll mind the time before we finish with our Shavasana. Let the belly soften. So just tune into the sitting bones and feel the steadiness. This is the seat aspect of our asana, that we feel stable and steady in the pelvis, that the spine can lift up freely. Again, the jaw is soft, eyes soft. And rest the attention towards the heart. Bring the hands together at the heart space. And as always, the invitation is that you can join in with this mantra. It's a Tibetan mantra dedicated to the heart, to the gem of the lotus in the heart. It's one translation. And it may help to really visualize that lotus flower in the heart, just opening freely, expressively, without any limitation. We start with Om, and join in if you'd like to. I'll chant a few rounds and then we'll drop into our meditation, fixing the mind towards the heart. Deep breath in. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Release the hands. Place them wherever is comfortable on the body. Palms up, palms down, whatever works for you. Eyes closed, jaw soft. Rest in that expansive nature of the heart, that open lotus flower in the heart, the essence of abundance, of beauty, of peace. mind the time. Take an extra deep breath in. Exhale slowly. Bring the softness to the arms. As you bring the shoulders up towards the ears, relax the shoulders back. Exhale, one more. Breathe in and release. And without too much agitation, we're just going to come down for our Shavasana. So you may want to dim the lights or take an eye pillow and come to lie flat on your back. You can, of course, use your support again under your knees if you prefer. Do take some support under the back of the head. Again, check the temperature if you need a blanket over you. Folded blanket will work perfectly well for a little head support. As you come to lie down in the same way that we started, shifting the buttocks towards the heels, lower down through the spine. Exhaling as you land, releasing the arms out to the sides. Clear any equipment so you can be free to find that balance evenly through the whole of the body. Lastly, relax and release each leg. Deep breaths, pelvis evenly placed. Let the feet just flop out to the sides. Fingers curling in towards their own palms. Shoulders relaxed. Tucking the chin a little closer towards the chest. Eyes closed. Jaw soft. Resting in the heart space. Resting in that deep peace of the self. Resting with the breath. Bring an extra deep breath in and gently bending up your knees, resting the soles of the feet to the earth. And take a deep breath in as you roll over onto your side, whichever side suits your body, and just lie comfortably on your side, soft and relaxed. Allow a little light and colour into the eyes and some movements through the fingers and toes. And slowly start to bring yourself around, pressing up from the side with your hands, and come up to a comfortable seated position, whatever works for your body. Take your time. Bring the hands to the heart space. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release. And 2 more of those. Breathe in and release. Follow the breath to the very end, and then a deep inhale into the back ribs and release. Namaste. Bow to you. Thank you for being here. See you soon, I hope.